Even though we're quite picky about industrial metal, this new album by The Defect was a first. The use of vocal melodies and the heavy, abrasive sound are the main culprits. Without sounding revolutionary, this set of songs completely satisfies those who like the combination of electronic layers over heavy guitars. But it's really the voice, or voices, that make the positive difference, so that this work quickly becomes an addiction. Even if you have an allergy to modern things and associate them with the stigma of disposability, that's not at all what you'll find here. Pathogenic are back and stronger than ever. Betting on taking technical death metal to new levels of intensity, crowned in corpses, is a feast for all those who like to see and hear their death metal full of technical exuberance. It may not be suitable for old fans of the band, as their music has come a long way since their first album, released almost 15 years ago. Anyone who appreciates the nuances of modern music will definitely be won over by this comeback.
The fifth album by New Zealanders Barshasketh is more intense and violent than ever. Within the organized chaos that is their music, they also bring that dissonant melody that creates an attractive atmosphere, especially for those who like claustrophobic black metal. And thanks to this, it manages to be immediate without being catchy. It's the way it manages to capture the listener first by the atmosphere that then leaves them helpless in the face of the intelligent arrangements that underpin these 7 songs. New Zealand may not be the most immediate destination for metal, let alone black metal, but Barshasketh show that good music has no nationality. Legado De Una Tragedia are back with their 6th album, and they bring with them that majestic symphonic exuberance that makes you feel like the soundtrack to an epic Hollywood movie. This is not affected by the fact that they sing in Spanish. In fact, the vocals are just as exuberant as the instrumentation. Joaquin Padilla's project is larger than life, just like his music, and it's impossible to remain indifferent. For anyone who likes symphonic metal and that feeling that the great musicals have, this is an album not to be missed. Everything here is strange, from the name to the name of the album to the fact that it's a surf rock band from Finland. However, what's really impressive is how good and addictive it is. Anyone who likes the reverb-laden guitars of 60s surf rock will be completely fascinated by this set of songs. In fact, they're so good that we bet Tarantino would make a movie again just to include these songs on the soundtrack. An absolute addiction and an album we recommend to all fans of good music. Jinjer's surprise effect wore off a long time ago. But early on, the Ukrainian band showed that they were much more than just a trendy band and managed not to dazzle and continue to grow not only in terms of success, but above all creatively, which is what we're most interested in here. Duel is an album that showcases all the arguments they have been making in recent years in the form of songs that are increasingly infectious without becoming disposable. Easier to internalize and undoubtedly easier to enjoy, this is another great album from Jinjer. The Italians Dial are back with their 4th album, which is absorbed in a proportionally inverse way to the title, which we have no idea how to pronounce or even what it means. That doesn't matter at all, since what they bring is so good that everything else is just details. A mix between doom metal and stoner and sludge, this set of songs is full of groove, atmosphere, and hypnotic factor where your mind is emptied while your head slowly and rhythmically headbangs. A must. 8 years between their first and second original albums is a long time. Some might even say it's commercial suicide these days. However, in the genre of music we love so much, the time it takes for an album to be released is insignificant when compared to the quality of the music. And it doesn't take long to listen to this album to be convinced that this is a true masterpiece. The fusion of doom metal and folk elements that come together in an epic and dramatic way makes this an album that we want to devote our time and attention to. An album that goes against the grain of what is customary, and which, for that reason alone, we are sure will successfully stand the test of time. What do you get when you combine traditional heavy metal with a superior sense of weight and speed? Probably the logical definition of North American power metal. Regardless of musical genre rules that are only valid for the people who quote them, this debut album is impressive and exciting. As much as people say that heavy metal is dead and that everything has already been done, seen, and heard, it's with albums like this that we insist that there is still a lot of good to discover and listen to. Cryptic Halo has no weak moments and is one of the names we want to follow within the heavy power metal that comes from the United States. I still remember the first time I heard Saor, precisely on their debut album Roots, and how I thought that I was looking at something special, something that defies the test of time. Music that takes ancient traditions and gives them a modern context that makes them even more beautiful. Immortal melodies that stick in the brain and, despite sounding familiar, are refreshing. This description can be applied to any album by Andy Marshall, and Amidst the Ruins is no exception. Epic, beautiful, heavy, and visceral, this is guaranteed to be one of the albums of 2025.